Greetings, I'm Rob Chapman.
And I'm the captain.
And we're at sunnyandertons.co.uk.
It is sunny, isn't it?
It's very sunny.
Sunny.
So sunny, you got your summer t-shirt out.
I've got new t-shirts. I'll tell you about these in a little bit. But
Avert your eyes if you're children.
Oh yeah, it's a bit sexy these. But so, Epiphone, the wonderful brand of Epiphone. You guys know, a subsidiary of Gibson, who are the only company in the universe allowed to make proper licensed copies of Gibson guitars and sell them cheaper to you because they're made in the Far East.
Yeah.
I don't know why I even told you that. If you don't know that, you obviously have been living in a hole for the last 50 years.
Stop living in a hole. Come out and watch Andertons.co.uk on my YouTube channel.
Now, Epiphone. This is the bit that Rob probably didn't know. There's a bunch of guitars in the catalogue. Hundreds of guitars in the catalogue, I suspect, that any Epiphone dealer in the universe can buy. However, there are also some limited guitars in the catalogue that they make as sort of more spot runs and limited sort of production stuff that you have to be a super special Epiphone dealer to be able to buy.
Ooh.
They rather sort of, I think, sort of naffly call it being a member of the Epiphone Club, but ignore that. So essentially what it means is you just have to be a massive Epiphone dealer. So there's about 7 or 8 Epiphone Club stores, if you like, in Europe, of which Andertons are one, which means every time Epiphone go, we've done this kind of cool, funky, slight spin on a guitar, they go, but only you guys can have it because we're not making that many. So the first one that Rob and I are playing here, and actually there's another one on the wall behind, and I'll put in the links section below because there's about 6 different colours of these, but they're all the same sort of basic guitar, is called the Epiphone Les Paul Standard Pro Florentine, which is a sort of a nod. It's because
of the F holes and the hollow bit.
Yeah, I don't know what the Florentine, normally I would refer to the style of the cutaway, but I guess just F. Begins with F, doesn't it? Florentine, yeah. So let's call it that.
Fudge.
So this is a sort of a centre block, you know, solid here, hollow here, kind of Les Paul guitar design.
Come in.
Come in. And as a result of which, it's much lighter than a normal Les Paul.
Yeah.
Has a slightly darker, deeper kind of tone. Everything else about it is the same as you would get on a regular Les Paul Standard Pro. I have noticed, I hope this is a feature that we're going to see on all the Les Paul Standard Pros.
We love Pros.
this. For about the last 2 years or so, Epiphone have done that. The new Pro buckers that come on these have been coil tappable. So it means I can have big, lovely Les Paul sounds like this, or I can have them like this. A little bit softer, kind of thinner sound because we're tapping the pickup, so we're reducing the number of winds on the pickup and getting a sort of a thinner tone. Now, traditional, like the knobs that are on this guitar here and are on a traditional Les Paul sort of top hat style knobs, are actually quite difficult to pull out, especially if you've got sweaty fingers.
I always found that I had a particular guitar, it was by PRS, that was very, very easy to pull out because they gave you enough room underneath the sort of top hat style knob to wedge your finger and kind of lever the knob up, but it still hurt a little bit. This is an absolute joy to pull.
All they've done really, really simply is created a little bit of a ridge on about this sort of section of the control knob here,
yeah.
And it just means when you grab it, you're no longer going, oh, slip through my fingers. Visually, it looks pretty much exactly the same.
It's pretty much
really
identical,
can't
but
see
it's
the ridge.
such a practical solution to a problem that's bugged us for years.
Bugged us for a while. we've got, you know, the usual kind of Clues and Deluxe style vintage tuners on the back. We've got the set neck. We've got the kind of flame top, the rosewood board.
And mine is almost identical to these, except that it's much better colour coordinated to my top.
Good shout. So there's classic colours in the range, like the vintage tobacco sunburst and the cherry sunburst. There's 3 other colours as well, which if you look in the description section below, I will put links to. But why don't you take us through the sort of the basic sort of 6 tones of your guitar?
Well, now I've got lots of pedals here on the floor that I'm really enjoying on the wonderful pedal board that Lee and I made.
Go and look for a video called, is it Pedal Quest?
Yes, Pedal Board Quest.
Pedal Board Quest, and you can see what pedals we're using.
So we've got standard 2 humbuckers and taps, and so here are the kind of standard standby. I'm using the clean channel on sort of gain 1 or 2, not a lot of gain. Quite a lot of volume though. I've got a flashback delay.
So that, I was going to say, that's classic treble pickup Les Paul, isn't it?
So it's, you know. In the middle position you get a lot more woody. And then up in the neck you get that kind of honky change position to play a bit of it.
And you can definitely hear there's just more bass end on these than there is in a solid, a solid Les Paul.
No matter what anybody else says, anywhere there is more low end.
Coil tapping.
That's nice, isn't it? In the middle. Right down.
And just for shits, you could of course have a middle position here with some combination of a
one of them tapped, all of them. Now, if you add a bit of purple plexi love to that, you get some nice sounds. More. Just sounds great.
It's
couple of pedals, bit of a Marshall.
It's one of those kind of, you know, peanut butter and jam kind of combinations.
Do you know what I like recently? Totally crowbar subject change.
Yeah.
Bless my dad for introducing me to this. But you get a bit of, I mean, I'm gluten intolerant, so I get a bit of like rye bread or whatever. But you put a bit of marge on it.
Yeah.
Marmite.
Yeah.
Peanut butter.
Ooh, nice combo.
And at first your mouth goes, no, what are you doing? This is wrong.
No, I would like that.
We're British.
I would like that.
But then it's a massively acquired taste. It's like olives, you know.
I like olives.
And then what you get is
such a shame. This was going to be such a great video for kids, and now it's just, that's it. It's ruined it.
But nice dark coffee and a bit of that. Oh, it's great.
You may have noticed, I don't know where Rob's cut the jam in or if he's even going to use this piece of the jam. There is a sort of downside to having hollow-bodied guitars with particularly pokey pickups and gain on your amplifier, and they feed back.
You drop your picks inside them.
Well, you may do, yes, but no, it feeds back a lot more than just a regular solid guitar.
Why?
Well, because you get these kind of microphonic chambers in the guitar.
Microphonic chambers, and they are more fun.
I would like somebody. I hate to raise this argument of, you know, tone woods don't affect the, you know, woods don't affect the tone and everything like that. Maybe someone could suggest, because I'm being serious now. Obviously, Rob and I are believers that wood does affect the tone. But anyway, maybe someone could suggest why hollow body guitars then feed back more than solid guitars. Because if, you know, if the body of the wood doesn't have any effect on the sound, it's just the strings and the pickups, why do hollow body guitars feed back more? I kind of know the scientific reason behind that, but if you're one of these people that doesn't believe that woods can make a difference, why does that happen? And of course, if the guitar's feeding back more, it sounds different, and que sera.
You know what else is awesome is if you cover the strings,
yeah,
and you
therefore it is hearing the sound.
Did you hear a noise with the amp?
Well, it's just, no, that'll be because there's a fault with the switch or something.
Why would you hear a noise from the wood?
Anyway, enough of that
confusing
argument. What else? The stickers that are on front of the, just in case you're thinking it looks a bit naff, these are removable stickers on the front of the pickups that just tell you that they are Alnico classic magnets, but you take them off and then you just get nice shiny chrome stuff. Yeah. So these are limited edition. I think lucky old Andertons got about a dozen of each of these.
They won't last you long, will they? Especially this one.
Yeah, they sell.
You know what? Whack a couple of EMGs on that, mate.
No.
Shave the top off.
No.
Paint it green.
No.
All those in favour say,
leave it as it is and just play it. And these are about £450, and friendly Andertons people. Also, we throw you in a nice Andertons Pro gig bag.
And a hug.
Too. And a hug.
Lee, behind you is a P90 guitar.
Yes, so let's put the, if you want to find out more about these, as I said, go onto our website. I'll put a link below.
If you pass me that, the P,
now we only have one of the P90 guitars here.
It's mine.
I'll talk to the microphone because I know it annoys Rabia when I don't. Now, how much heavier is that?
Not a great deal.
Oh, you don't think so? I thought it was quite a lot. It's because you've got a strong arm and a weak arm.
Yeah, that might be it.
So try and.
Okay. Oh yeah, okay,
it's quite a bit heavier.
Actually, that's interesting. It's a lot heavier.
That's obviously a completely solid mahogany guitar with a maple cap, finished in gold. So this is sort of remnant. The original Les Paul in '54. No, earlier than that even, I think, would have had a wraparound tailpiece, but essentially was this guitar, you know, gold top with P90s, and then in '56. You started to see the introduction of the separate bridge and tailpiece P90s. So this is essentially a throwback to that. So 1956 kind of Les Paul with the classic kind of square.
And do you know what, Lee?
P90s.
The Chinese made a good job of making this.
Yeah, I mean,
it's good. It looks great. It feels nice.
I think sometimes the gold top thing is. I see different kind of variants of the gold top. If you see.
There's like a slightly greenier one, isn't
it's a greenier vibe, and I like that. So I like this sort of slightly greeny gold thing. I think it's sort of more authentic.
Well, I wonder how it sounds.
Has it got a different? I think it's got the 56 kind of chubby neck on it.
Yeah, it's got a giant neck on it. But
so again,
I kind of don't dislike that either.
It was only really sort of 1960 that you started to see the neck on a Les Paul get a little bit sort of thinner. Prior to that, it was you know, a beefier thing, which I like.
You prefer more beef, don't you?
That's something that has come with age and experience, that I've just sort of begun to enjoy the sort of the chubbier necks. And again, some people say, you know, because a lot of the sustain in the string comes from the neck, that, you know, more wood in the neck means more sustain.
Just more wood, more better, really, as far as I'm concerned.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah. So yeah, let's take a listen to some tone.
What we should say again. So if you don't know what a P90 is, a P90 is a single coil pickup, but a sort of a fatter sounding version than the type of pickup you get in a Strat. So of course
you still get the humming and everything.
Yeah, so that Rob will demonstrate. There we are.
So I put it in the middle position.
Because you got two together and then they cancel the hum.
Yeah. But so here's the tone that wins the internet. Down all the way. just great sounding guitar.
On the sticker on the pickup, does it give us any more information about them?
It says, remove this to look cooler. Vintage single coil pickup P90 by Epiphone.
Fair enough.
But you know what? All that matters is what happens if you do this.
Great sounding guitar.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, you know, that have, you know, got a Strat or got a Les Paul and are sort of thinking, I want like a good third guitar. You should really consider a P90 loaded guitar. It kind of just gives you options where, you know, the Strat's not quite enough, but the Les Paul's too much. You know, it just gives you options in that middle position, doesn't it?
What's that?
Well, I thought what I'd do at this point is just take this opportunity to show you my new T-shirt.
That's
okay?
Nice. It's got women on it,
So
and it's got front roll.
Ironically, in the 1970s, my dad
Married one of those guys.
Yeah, he used to design all of the adverts that we put in the papers and stuff to sell guitars. And get this, I found an advert the other day from 1970 something or other. ES335s, £195.
Oh,
Gibson Les Pauls, £180.
wow.
Oh, wouldn't it be great if those were the days? Still. Although probably in those days it did used to take you about 7 months to earn £180, so relatively. So he designed this slightly racy thing with these three kind of very sexy, scantily clad girls who would be in this Andertons thing, and we would say, "I've got the music in me!" exclamation mark. And this was our advert, and the guys in the store used to wear these as their staff uniform. So we said the word "front" on the front so that they knew which way to put the T-shirt on, and. Can you see it?
It says, "I've got the music in me," and it says "back" on the back. In case you weren't sure.
So this is authentic.
But is there a story behind the spelling of front?
I think it was just 1970s. It was just amusing, wasn't it?
Right.
Front. And then other stuff. So I thought whilst we're doing those, we'll do. This was the advert, or the lady that we used to use. And you can see my dad's obviously got a fixation with ladies with their boobs out, but it was all about sex, drugs, and rock and roll in those days. So this was a sort of a more 1980s kind of looking.
What, is that a microphone?
Advert. Yes, it's a microphone. Although in the original it wasn't a microphone, it was something else, and we had to superimpose a microphone in. I made that last bit up. So here's another one where you can see scantily clad ladies.
It's like she's going, "I've got an arse for sale here, and I've got another one here. Which one do you want?"
Half of me kind of, you know, misses the good old days of just where there was no political correctness, and the other half of me just thinks, no, it's probably appropriate that we don't just, you know, use
have women advertising arses.
Yeah, but there we are. Whatever.
Yeah.
It is what it is. That's
Quiver
what it's like
me
in those
quavers.
days. And then there's a couple. This one's quite nice, but this is a completely. Did I mention it's our 50th anniversary?
No.
I didn't. How to Take Care of Me. Let's get rid of that. So of course it's our 50th anniversary. So if you'd like to celebrate with us, you could have one of those.
And how long have you worked for Andertons for?
For 25 years this year.
25 years.
So I was here for half of it. And here's another one. Seeing as you guys loved the Jack Daniels sort of T-shirt that I wear all the time in these videos, we kind of ripped off another sort of similar thing. And if you want to own one of these T-shirts, or one of about, I don't know, there's about 25, 30 different designs that we do. I will put a link in the description under this video to where you can buy them from. They come in all different sizes and colours and everything. If you can't be bothered to look in the description, go to www.fretshirt.com. Back in the room.
We've lost B-Cam.
We've lost B-Cam. It's run out of cards, so you're going to have to endure the rest of this video on one camera angle only. But that's okay, because I've only got one more guitar to show you. You grab your red one and I'll grab my red one.
That sounds really, really like an Andertons advert from the 70s.
These are called a Wildcat. Not been in the catalogue for ages and ages, and tends to sort of flitter in and out anyway, just sort of depending on whether Epiphone sort of think it's cool or not. But what is it? It's essentially a compact kind of single cut, so it reminds me a little bit like some of the probably the deeper sort of jazz guitars that Gibson would have done. I think it's like the Howard Roberts Fusion and things like that.
Deeper than Cousteau would ever have gone.
But it's basically it's a relatively thin kind of, you know, like and again semi-hollow, so solid down the middle, hollow on the sides. Bigsby loaded. Gotta love the Bigsby trem system, and with the dog ear P90s, which essentially just really refers to the fact that they have these little dog ear sort of side bits that screw into the guitar.
What is it you love about the bridge then?
Because no other tremolo sounds like that. Let me turn my guitar amp on and you might be able to hear something. Meh.
I mean, you can't dive bomb with them, can you?
Oh, I unplugged myself. No, but no other tremolo sounds like...
I just think that some people like them because they look like bits out of cars, don't they?
Well, it looks like something from the 50s or the 60s, doesn't it? Lots of chrome and everything. But I don't know, I mean, Floyd Rose trem systems are undoubtedly a more effective solution to tremolo. You know, I mean, you can physically pull back further, go down further, the tuning is more stable. Strat tremolos are probably kind of like in the middle, just a fantastic working solution to tremolo.
It's about the look, isn't it? Because a Floyd Rose would not look cool on that.
But you just get this slightly more, don't know, sort of out of tuney kind of sound with a Bigsby that I just really like.
It's more subtle, I suppose.
Do you know what I also like? I like that I can see the whole mechanism. You know, like in a Strat tremolo, you've got sort of stuff underneath, and you sort of think. I just like the fact that I can see what's happening with a Bigsby trem system, and it's just very, very simplistic. The tuning inevitably won't be great on a Bigsby if you kind of go mad with it, but I like it. Sorry, everybody.
Well, no, that's fine. It's fine. It's interesting.
So, in terms of controls here, we've got almost something, almost like a Gretschy kind of vibe. So we've got 2 volumes and a tone for the actual pickups, and then we've got a master volume. So you can, if you like, you can set up a sort of an in-between blend of the two, and then control the master volume.
I like
that. Grover machine heads, so sort of quite modern, decent, chunky machine heads. These, I forgot to tell you as well, that gold top over there, that sells for about $350. These sell for about $300. There's a small...
That's really cheap, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a bit of a price difference depending on whether you want the sort of the...
But this is a lot of guitar for 300 quid.
Yeah, nice guitar. Anyway, why don't you take us through the tones? There's no coil tap or anything, so just take us through the tones.
Okay, so, well then, I've got my master volume all the way up. While I'm tuning, why don't you give me some tones?
Okay, can I have my plectrum back?
All right.
Thank you very much. So yeah, I mean, I've got a Fender amplifier on the go here, so you know, for you guys that like much cleaner kind of tones, my amp's probably more sort of appropriate. Sound, isn't it? Every guitar, if you had a humbucker on here, I don't think it would sound quite right, and if it was a solid guitar, I don't think it would sound quite right. It's just got to have that kind of, just a different vibe, isn't it? It's all subtle, but you know. And as I'm
so when are they going to bring out? When are they going to bring out a 9-string version? That's what I want to know.
Oh yeah, that's in the catalogue next week. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. 9-string with a Bigsby. They're working on it right now. Let's see if I can sort of demo. So if I had a tone, you know, that I quite liked, where I've got it in the middle position and both kind of... And I think that's my tone. I can just quite nice and easy turn it all the way down, whatever. Which I always thought was kind of clever on Gretsch guitars. Oh! There I am, ably demonstrating again that hollow body guitars do feed back quite a bit more than... Because I'm not that loud in here. Well, I'm fairly loud, aren't I? But
well... It's like a cross between Neil Young and Richie Sambora. I quite like that.
I love Richie Sambora. Going to see him this weekend. Well, not him specifically. Going to see Aerosmith this weekend.
Me and Bea are going to go see Extreme.
I know. I'm going to see if my wife will let me out that night. I wouldn't mind seeing Extreme as well.
Yeah, Porno Graffiti, man. Whole album.
So, if you like this, I think we've done this justice now, haven't we?
We have. We really should say though that you can also play it, you know, without plugging it in, and it's adequately loud enough to sound great in your bedroom.
So again, I think there are several different colours of the Wildcat. Some are part of the catalogue that any Epiphone dealer can sell. These two
this one's
are
stripy,
part of this
that one's not.
Epiphone club thing, so only the bigger Epiphone dealers can sell it.
How many have you got?
They're all about 12 of each, I think, of all these kind of things. And these are about, I told you, these are about £300. And if you're interested in this, again, search for Epiphone Wildcat. And of course, just like all those 70s cats out there, cat spelt with a K.
Yes. And if you're going to get one, probably try and look to get one from a company with 50 years, family-run business, because they're probably going to care about you.
Well, that's why we're still here.
Yeah.
That's why we're still here after 50 years.
50
but,
years.
You guys do whatever's best for you. That's what I say.
I've been Rob Chapman.
And I'm the captain.
See you later.